All right, well, welcome everyone to Adventurous Spirit episode 23. Today brings me to the Jefferson Memorial Forest. I'm going to do a little video here of the Blue Red Orange Trail, and I'm also trying out a new backpack I just bought. So I might, I guess, a kind of a gear review in there also. All right, let's go have fun. All right, like I said, today we're going to also be testing out a new backpack I got here. This is an Ascend 75 liter. Ascend is the Bass Pro brand. I originally was looking at an Osprey, but they seem to be much more expensive than the Bass Pro brand. So I'm going to see if it holds up, and seem to be pretty much the same type of material, all the same little gadgets and adjustments and all that. So we'll put it to the test and see what we get. All right, it is time to enter the forest. What a gorgeous day. All right, well, while you're out here at JMF, which stands for Jefferson Memorial Forest, by the way, if I hadn't said that already, they also have the zipline Adventures out here. You can see some steps there above me going from tree to tree. They got, I don't know if it picks up on the camera, but there's a net in front of me that you zip line down into. It just kind of goes through the forest. I've never done it as of yet, but I would like to try that at some time. That will be a separate Adventurous Spirit video. All right, so I've been hiking a little over a mile, and the pack wasn't feeling quite right, so I had to stop and adjust the waistband here. It was riding below my hip bones, so I pulled this and adjusted it up a little bit, and quickly noticed that my shoulders were carrying more load than they need to. So I ended up making one more adjustment, and now it seems to be riding on the hips and feels much more comfortable. So, all right. All right, I'm about to come up on Mitchell Hill Lake here. And actually, if I take a left, you can see some of the start of the lake. All right, so I've been hiking about 2.5 miles, meeting some interesting folks out here. Ran across some old friends, Mark French and Stephanie Clemens, Ellen and the gentleman she was with. Just met another guy who was telling me about adventure racing that he does. It's a combination of trail running, kayaking, and I think he said something else. I can't think of which one it was, but the whole thing you're carrying all your equipment, and you're also orienteering, so you have to know how to find your way from point to point. It's not a set out trail, so it sounds like possible something I might want to try one day. All right, coming up on one of my favorite sections. The trail takes a sharp left, and we go down what I like to call the goat trail. When I'm out trail running, which I'm not today because I have a backpack, this is my most favorite trail to run. It's just a little thin, windy path, and you're running right on the edge of danger, which for some reason I seem to like. All right. All right, so back in the springtime, I took a few of you on a wildflower hike over at Charlestown State Park, and we saw these tiny little plants with a white flower called a twin leaf, because it looks just like a mirror image. But anyway, after the leaves fall off and a little later towards summer, here's the seed pod that comes out on the twin leaf, and it has like a little crease right here. And what will happen is that will pop open and the seeds are exposed, and the ants pick them up, and the ants bury them, take them, and they eat like the gelatin that's around the edge of the seed, and then the seed germinates from actually inside where the ants store them. So just a cool little bit of nature there. So I walked just a little further down the trail, and here is one of actually the seed pods that has popped open, and looks like it's smiling at me. All right. All right, so here we go. It's a seed pod. Actually, the seeds are still in it. Let me pull a couple out. So there you go. Pretty cool. All right, stopping at the creek bed here and seeing lots of geodes. There's one. And here's one that's actually split open. Right there. Oh, I'm sorry. right here. So there's one that's been broken open that you can see. Coming up on, I hear some water flowing. I want to come over and see what the little waterfall looks like. Let me walk around here where I can get a view. Yeah, making a lot more sound than there is actually water visible. Anyway, still very pretty. All right, so I'm about, I don't know, 5.5, 6 miles, something like that, into the trail. So far, the backpack seems to still be doing well. I've even had time to stop and kind of take in some nature, so seems like we're off to a good start here. I'll just have to up the weight and get the body used to carrying that, so, right. All right, well, thank you for joining me on this episode 23 out at Jefferson Memorial Forest. I'm doing the blue connector from the Welcome Center to the red loop, and then there's an orange loop inside that. Get another good hill in there. So anyway, I wanted to end this episode with just a quiet walk through. I'm about to walk through a pine forest, and it's just an amazing piece of the forest here. Wish I could put the smell through there, what it smells like, but anyway, thanks for joining me.